What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders Awakened. I brought it up on stream yesterday, or somebody mentioned it on stream about a Wave 23 Massacre Hardcore start for Prom, and I wanted to get a video up as I thought I already had one on the channel, but apparently I never did Prom. And I've been using the build that was posted up on the planner from iSkills back several months ago. I will put a link down in the description below to that build that iSkills posted, and it actually got a little bit of a buff since then as the way mobs spawn were changed when you're playing solo. This, of course, is a solo build. You can use this build in a group as well, but your team members are going to want to be active and get repairs in and assist on Ogre and Copter kills. So let's hop on in and get it started. Wave 23 start, Massacre Hardcore, Promenade. Now, this build is going to be a turtle build, and it's going to rely on a striking gemstone and one big aura stack. If you do not have a striking gemstone yet, you're going to want to pop into the summit and farm one up. Now, first things first, we're going to start off right down here below, and this particular wall will be the area that gets hit the hardest. No doubt, if you do lose this map, there's a solid chance that you lose it here because of this wall. This wall will get pummeled, and we're going to go with a 4DU wall right there to try to get a little bit of health on it. Right here, this lane does not take as much pressure, so we're just going to go with a 2DU wall there, and we'll throw a reflect beam directly in front of it, just 1 DU on that reflect. Actually, I put a 2 there. We better shrink that bad boy down to a 1. Let's see, we'll just go 1 DU on the reflect there. And now we can pop on up top to this lane. As I mentioned, it's a turtle build, so we are walling it up close to our core areas. We're going to go with another 3DU wall right here, and we'll throw a 1DU reflect beam directly in front of it. Over on this lane, I'm going to go right about here and throw a 3DU wall right there. And then, last but not least, come over to this side, and we're going to go with another 3DU wall right about there. Now, after this, really, it's all about the aura stack. Now, we are going to be buffing that aura stack, but we're going to have towers doing a lot of work. So, let's get these towers dialed in. We're going to go with a flame burst right here on that corner. The big thing about the flame burst here is this is the rough lane, as I mentioned, so you want to make sure that flame burst can clearly shoot down this lane without any issues. And what's a flame burst all by itself? Well, it's lonely, so let's give it a little overclock beam action to keep it company. I'm going to go ahead and jack that bad boy right on up. Now we can come up top here, and we're going to start off with 2 flame bursts. I'm going to go just right on the ground, like right in front of this broken rubble here. And we want our first flame burst hitting the center lane and that lane off to the side. So it's going to be shooting down those 2 lanes. We're going to get yet another flame burst directly adjacent to it, and who'd have thought? It's going to be hitting down these 2 lanes. Now we've got some DST work in, and we know that this lane over here just gets walloped all the time. I'm going to go ahead and throw 2 DSTs on that side, and that's going to handle those copters from that way, plus all of the ogre buildup that could happen there. Now, next up, we want to have 1 DST that's covering that spawn, and that spawn. We want yet another DST that is covering that spawn, and that spawn. And then last but not least, we want a 5th DST that's going to cover that spawn and the ogre copter lane. Now, of course, these DSTs need some love too, so let's throw down a 5DU buff beam right here. In the build from iSkills, he's got a 6DU buff beam being used, coming all the way down and buffing the wall, which is a fantastic idea. However, I've been using just the 5DU here, and it's been working like a champ. Just make sure you got all of your towers good and buffed. Now we're going to go ahead and go with our aura stack. So we want an ensnare aura, an electric, and a strength drain aura right here. Next up, we're going to need some traps. Let's swap on over to Attraptress. And we're going to gas it up. Now, we're using gas, but we're not using shock beams, which means if you get any poison sirens, you're going to want to assist, or at a minimum, pay attention to what's going on that lane. We just need gas traps there. We don't need a gas trap over there, as both of these are going to double dip and CC the mobs up top there as well. However, we are going to want a gas trap right down here. Now, I've got 3 DU left. Let's go ahead and let's get some walls in, right? So, first things first, let's go ahead and protect this wall a little bit with 1 reflect beam. So we're going to put 1 DU reflect beam there. Now, we also want to make sure that the ogres that are coming out of that spawn, because we know that that lane always spawns ogres, we want to have protection from it. So we're going to have 1 reflect beam for just 1 DU covering that spawn. Now, in addition, we're going to have lots of ogres down here shooting up, and we want to make sure this area is covered. Plus, we want to give ourselves a little hidey hole, as, you know, a little place to hide is just good stuff. Let's go with just 1 reflect beam, or 1 DU reflect beam right there. Now, of course, as I mentioned, we are going to be playing on a striking gemstone. So I've got a striking gemstone on a tower boost monk. The striking gemstone does come from the summit. Just get one on campaign. It's fine. You don't need to worry about getting one from survival. Now, you want to make sure that your aura stack is being hit. The easiest way to do this is just to turn on the damage numbers. You'll see the damage ripping off. If you're buffing those R's correctly, the damage will be way out there. However, you can just look at the animation on the enemies. So if you see that little shock animation, it is GG's. And look at that, I hit the flame burst instead of the buff beam. So let's just put all we can into that buff beam. And then what's left? Well, I think these R's could use a little bit of love, maybe? Let's go ahead and jack that electric Aura up, since it's going to be putting in some heavy duty work. And let's just make sure we're on top of our auras. It looks like we are, and we will get things started. Now, this is not an AFK build, y'all. Don't mistake being a tower booster with being AFK. This is 100% not AFK, and you're going to have to assist on the ogre lanes that you can reach. Now, obviously, we've got an ogre coming right up the way right here. Well, we can reach that one, so we're going to need to give an assist. So just spraying into that ogre just to add whatever we can to help out. Now, if it's a fire ogre, then maybe think about that wall more than actually damaging the ogre itself. However, as you see, we chewed right through that one. Now, what do we have left? We got an ogre over here. It actually looks like it just died, but we do have a physical siren there. That physical siren, of course, is going to turn this ogre physical, so I'm going to want to assist on that ogre as well. Now, the whole time, I'm making sure that my towers stay buffed. I want to try to get as much uptime of my buff on the towers themselves, and the rest of the time, I'm either spraying into an ogre or repairing auras, and that's really the bulk of what you'll need to do. Now, you're not going to be able to just drop everything and go AFK. You will have a few random unpleasantries, like I believe my wall down below that I said is going to be the trouble wall. I have a feeling that wall just went down, so I am going to want to pay attention to that, but I can't leave this area right here because I've got to keep those auras buffed. So I'm kind of stuck here. If something goes bad on one of these top lanes here, it's not really an issue. If it goes bad on a bottom lane, it's going to be a problem. And you see, I've actually lost yet another wall right there. However, we're going to be able to get that ogre smashed up without any issue. So now I've got no wall here and no wall down below. We're going to want to rebuild those. And that's just the nature of the current Massacre mode and how the sirens work. Sometimes you're going to get the RNG that's just not super friendly. And that means you're probably going to end up losing a wall. Now, as long as you're paying attention, there's a solid chance you won't lose the map. We were at, what, 1,000 mobs or more when we lost that wall down below, and I'm still not even sweating it down there. There's no alerts going off for, no audio alerts going off. I know the core's not taking damage, so I do know that everything is getting handled down that way. Now I'm going to keep just sitting here spraying into this lane that doesn't have a wall as well, and we're going to have to rebuild those after the break here. Now, you do want to watch your auras. You know, your auras are damn near map wide. They're covering a huge area. So with that in mind, they are going to burn like a mofo. Particularly that Strength Drain aura. It is without a doubt going to get chewed up. Now, all of the Dark Elves that are coming up smacking on you, I'm generally just ignoring those most of the time. Now, what did we lose now? We're down to 10 DU. I lost another 3 DU wall somewhere. And I'm assuming that one's the one behind me. Yeah, it sure is. And that's why all of those Dark Elves were able to come up and smack on me. But we're still going to just chillax it out right here. We're going to keep this aura stack buffed. We're going to keep on buffing the towers. And the benefit we have is the mobs that are running rampant and loose around the map are mobs that don't hit the core. So we don't really have to worry about what they're doing as long as they're not taking us out or any of our defenses. It's not the end of the world. We're still going to be able to get it done. As I said, it's just not an AFK build. You will have to pay attention. So plan on losing some walls here and there. However, you'll also have runs where you take almost no damage on the walls. So it's one of those RNG things. If you gotta get a lot of poison or physical immune sirens, your walls are going to get beat on. If you don't, then you could go a wave without your walls taking hardly any damage at all. Let's go ahead and repair it, or upgrade that instead of repairing it. We're going to place that wall right back here, but now we've got a little bit more mana. I'm going to put it as far up as I can. Make sure it's 4 DU. It is indeed. Let's go ahead and upgrade it a couple of times there. And then let's see, what else do we have here? Well, we lost our wall right here. We already know that. We can slap that down and get an upgrade on it as well. This map kind of personifies the RNG factor in Massacre mode right now, as this exact build, you will go entire 23 to 25 starts without your walls taking hardly any damage. You'll do the exact same thing, and on the very next run, all of a sudden your walls are just getting the living crap beat out of them the entire time. So, I mean, it's definitely not as chill as, say, Royal Gardens is. However, it drops a little bit higher quality loot than Gardens does. So, you know, RNG, of course, is RNG, but you've got a potential to get a higher quality loot from this map than you do from Gardens. Now, we gotta remember, I didn't get that buff beam upgraded all the way. Let's go ahead and pop it. And then we'll throw an upgrade onto everything we can here. We've got, what, 400 left. Let's hit 4 of these DSTs to get a little bit more damage flowing out there. Since I jumped on top of the DSTs, I am going to back off a bit and then come back up on top of my aura stack and make sure that my striking gemstone, you can see, it's hard to see, but you can see the little glow going around the aura stack down on the ground. That is from my gemstone. So let's go ahead and fire it up and see what we get. We've got another ogre on this lane. Is he going to come this way, or is he going to run somewhere else? We'll see. Doesn't look like he's going to come down this way, so that ogre will be in ignore mode. We do have a physical ogre over here. You can just go ahead and shoot at the siren. That's fine, too. You're going to get loot, of course. However, I find that you don't really need to if you don't want to, as your wall is going to tough it out until the siren leaves, and then you can go ahead and add a little spice to that ogre's life and assist your flame burst in burning them out. Now, of course, the DSTs are just not going to do crap against that guy. If you need to, you can, by all means, throw down a little hero boost here and burn that guy out quicker. If you feel like he's been there at the wall too long, that is without an option, but I would turn that hero boost off as soon as you feel safe, where you don't have to sweat it so much. We see a copter ogre coming in from that side, so we will have another ogre on that lane. Now we've got a fire ogre, or pardon me, a fire siren that is debuffing both of the ogres coming that way. So now I'm not going to be any assistance over there anymore, as I do fire damage on this monk. So being a fire damage monk, I'm going to have trouble on that lane. I'm going to focus on just making sure I keep my tower boost up and assisting on these other lanes. Now it looks like I lost the wall directly below me. That's a 2 DU wall there. That one is gone. However, You see the ogre dying there. Once again, it's nothing to necessarily worry about. With the two walls so close down below, an ogre could smash through one wall and just go over to the other wall and start hitting it. So I just want to make sure I keep these DSTs buffed. I don't want to panic, because remember, if I leave this area, then my auras are no longer going to cover everything on the map. So I'm going to just chillax it out and wait for the rest of these mobs to burn. And wave 24 is now coming to a close. As you see, just the 2 DU missing, so I didn't lose anything else, just that wall, that little 2 DU wall directly down below. So I'm just going to get a quick repair on all of our auras here, and then collect up some mana and get everything else all jacked up. Let's grab all of the juice right here. And we lost this little guy. Now, as I mentioned here, if you lose this wall, the ogres are not going to go to the core. The ogres are going to go to this wall. If you lose this wall, the ogres are not going to go to the core. They're going to go to this wall. So you do have backup on each individual wall right there. Let's go ahead and throw that back. We'll throw a few upgrades on it. Let's get that one jacked up all the way. And then what can we do? Well, we've got a bunch of mana now, and that is going to give us some more upgrades. So let's go ahead and collect up all of the juice we can, just to ease some of the pressure on that main lane down below there. Let's go ahead and throw a couple of upgrades into this Flame Burst Tower. Now, like I said, this map is just pure RNG. There's no doubt about it. You will have runs where it's just super duper smooth. You'll have other runs where it feels like you're running around a little. If you do decide to play this map in a group, I think the ideal setup would be 3-player, where you've got your monk that's doing the same thing as I'm doing here solo, and then your other 2 players could be like a monk squire or a monk huntress, and have them just be kind of a roaming killing crew just to destroy all of the ogres and help with the copter ogres. We're going to go ahead and make sure we are on that aura stack again and get wave number 25 flying here. We did took a lot of damage on that core down below. Like I said, it's RNG. It's going to happen. You're going to have good runs. You're going to have bad runs. As you do this map more and more, though, you're going to have many, many more wins than you have losses. There's no doubt about it. And either way, hopefully you get some of that nice fat Act 3 Massacre mode loot, as it does have the potential to drop extremely good loot on this map. In fact, this particular map, as far as the data mined information goes, is just barely below the summit and Glitterhelm as far as the top loot tiers go. Taking a look around, did I trigger that siren? It doesn't look like it. I accidentally shot the siren a little. I'm just going to leave her there and just kind of assist anywhere where we're getting anything on the walls. We got another ogre there. We've got an ogre back behind us as well. You can't really see it, but I am shooting at him. I'm shooting him right now. You see we got a poison siren down below, which could end up causing problems. We want to make sure that we're keeping our DST stacks up. And we're going to spray into that ogre now that all the sirens are gone here. We got an ogre actually crossing over the middle there. Okay, that one is down. What's that guy doing? That guy's trying to take the loop around. You get such a buildup back underneath that lower problem wall area, where the ogres actually have a real tough time making it through just because of the collision of the enemies. So I'm just going to chillax it out. I'm going to get, keep these auras upgraded. They're actually looking pretty good right now, so nothing to really worry too much about. And just to make sure I keep 100% uptime on these DSTs and Flame Burst. Remember, at the same time, I am standing on top of a stack of auras, so we are buffing that electric aura as well and getting that just beast mode, complete area damage going across the whole map. So you see the enemies come out, and where the little electrocute animation starts on them, that's where my electric aura is reaching down to. So striking gemstone for the win. It is getting the job just done here, and all I'm going to do is sit here and play a boosty boy on these towers, as I feel like this one should be in the bag. There's still one ogre down below, but as you see, he's jammed up way back in a big crowd of mobs there, so I'm just not even going to worry about him, as he's not even remotely close to that wall yet. Now, you saw he just went all the way to full health. That means there's mages back there as well, and those will be a problem. However, I'm not going to sweat it. I'm going to let that lower flame burst do its thing, and it's still going to put the damage in, but it might have to kill that ogre a few times before it gets him done. So 100 mobs left, we're looking pretty solid, and I mean, what more can I say? It's just a good build. It is RNG dependent. However, this is a build that's worked ever since iSkills posted it. It's worked very effectively for me back, I don't remember when, but it's been several months ago since it was posted up, I'm pretty sure. And we're down to just a few mobs left. We got that ogre down there as one of them, and you know what, I think we're safe just to go do our thing now, so let's just go kill this guy and get him out of our hair. Dude needs to go. He's actually completely stuck right there, and we've got the mage, his little mage homies that are healing him up. Let's see if I can't get them out there a little bit closer. Fire resist mage, that is exactly what I needed. And there we go. Phone is beeping away. And we got GG's on the prom in Massacre Hardcore. Let's see what kind of giraffe we got. Is RNG going to hate us today? Yeah, it is. It's going to say, nope, nothing good for you. So, a big old POS giraffe. However, there is a Wave 23 start for the Promenade on Massacre Hardcore. Thanks again, y'all. Don't forget to click that like button, please subscribe to the channel, and I will be back soon with some more Dungeon Defenders in all its forms. Thanks again. I'll see you next time.